recording. Okay, this paper we're looking at, right? All the questions are taken from St. Andrew Secondary 4, mid-year 2017, paper 1 of their AMAX. Okay, so we're now looking at question 2. Question 2, part 1, it says that find the range of k for which x squared minus open bracket k plus 3 close bracket x plus 3k plus 1 is positive for all real values of x. They ask you to find the range of k. So to find the range of k, okay, you need to let y be this equation here first. That means if my y is x squared minus open bracket k plus 3 close bracket x plus 3k plus 1. This is my y. Okay, I'm going to find the range of k for which my y is positive for all real values of x. And you know that in order for this equation, because it is positive x squared, right? So it's a U-shaped curve. It's going to cut these 2 points, which is the roots. And they ask the range of k, right, for which this is positive, but they want it to be positive. Therefore, the graph would look like this. Oh, the graph will look like this. You understand?
Yeah.
The range of k, okay, where you manipulate this graph, because the shape, how this graph, right, will look like, right, whether you cut the x-axis or it's dangling in the air, it depends on the value of your k. So they're asking you to find the value of k such that this graph is dangling in the air because it's positive for all real values of x. So for this to be positive for all real values of x, right, the graph has to be dangling in the air. Therefore, y is always positive for all values of x. Oh, you understand this concept?
Yes.
So for this to be all positive, right, the discriminant of y, which is your b squared minus 4ac discriminant, has to be negative. Oh, you understand this concept?
Yeah.
Yeah, the discriminant has to be negative in order for this, the y, all the values of y to be positive, because there's no real roots. No real roots. No real roots, that means, right, your x, or the root, minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, this part here, right, has to be negative, because when this is negative, it is all undefined. Square root of negative is undefined. So the numerator is undefined. If the numerator is undefined, the root will be undefined. In this case, the root is undefined because it doesn't cut the x-axis. No, you understand the concept? This is the concept. It all falls back to this equation to find x. Because x is minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. This formula I can prove to you some of the time now. How come x is equal to this? Okay, if you have time later, I can prove to you. So let's focus on the question first. So the discriminant of y is negative. Your b squared minus 4ac is negative. So your b squared will be your k plus 3 squared, or rather minus k plus 3 squared, either one. Because if I minus square, it's the same as positive square, it's the same thing. B squared minus 4 a c is less than 0. Oh, b square minus 4ac is less than 0. Okay, you understand this one, huh?
Yeah.
Then I expand. I have my k square plus 2ab, a square plus 2ab plus my b square minus 4 times 3k is 12k. Minus 4 times 1 is my minus 4. So I have this inequality. Then if I continue to simplify, right, you'll get k squared minus 6k plus 5.
Right.
Then this part here, right, they are less than 0, right? If I to factorize this fellow here, right? This fellow means the equation, I get k minus 5, k plus 1. This means that, okay, now I'm going to draw another graph here. It cuts at 1 and 5, and it's a U shape. Take note that this graph that I'm drawing, right, is for the discriminant. This graph has nothing to do with this. It's different graph. Well, take note, lah. This one I'm drawing is for this equation. This equation is the discriminant for this inequality, which is the discriminant. And they want it less than 0, right? Less than 0 is here. So k is between 1 and 5. Oh, you understand now?
Yes.
For part 1. So now that you know that k is between 1 and 5, right? Use this range you found in k, right? Explain how come this value here is more than 0. Okay, now let's take a look at what we have. We are going to erase all this so I can see clearer. Okay, your x squared minus 4x plus 6, right, is the equation you're supposed to examine. Because the denominator, if you notice the denominator here, right, x squared minus open bracket k plus 3 close bracket x plus 3k plus 1, right? This expression here, right, is actually this expression. And they ask you to use the range of k. So if I use the range of k, right, that means that this expression is going to be positive. Oh, you understand?
Yeah.
That means this expression will always be positive. If I'm going to use the range of value of k, that means my x squared minus 4x plus 6 would be greater than 0. Because the bottom is always positive. So you just need to consider the numerator. So if I consider the numerator, okay, if I consider just the numerator, right, this one you have to find a discriminant, right? Discriminant of this, right? My discriminant, you'll get minus 8. Okay, discriminant, you get minus 8. Discriminant get minus 8, what does that mean? That means this expression, right, has no real roots. If it has no real roots, right, and positive x squared, right, that means this graph is going to will be dangling in the air. Because the discriminant has no real roots. Therefore, this expression here, right, you can let this expression be fx, okay? So therefore, your fx is always greater than 0 for all real values of x. If this value is always greater than 0, right, therefore, this is positive, this guy is positive, hence positive over positive will always be greater than 0. That's the reason why this expression, this whole thing here, will always be greater than 0. You understand, no?
Yes.
That's the reason. Okay, this question clear, or question 2? The question 2 is clear. Let's move on to question 4a. Okay, we'll move on to your question 4a. Question 4a is a differentiation question. They ask you to differentiate this expression here. So it's d dx. With respect to x, so it's d dx. This expression, it's an exponential function. Okay, this is the expression here. Before I differentiate, right, I have to simplify this expression first. So allow me to simplify this expression. Okay, you understand how I get this, or your indices?
Yeah.
This part you understand, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, then I have to simplify further. You'll be very tempted to apply quotient rule, I know, but don't. Okay, you still can simplify. Okay, 6x minus 8x is minus 2x. Oh, that's how you get this. Any question?
No.
Okay, then I differentiate this value here, right? Okay, I differentiate this guy here. I bring down my minus 2. Minus 2 is minus 50. E to the power of 4 minus 2x. F prime x times e to the power of fx. That's how you get the answer. Any question?
From the minus 50, did it bring down the times
minus 2.
2?
Minus 2 I bring down because you need to get the differential of this one. Because d dx e to the power of fx is equal to f prime x e to the power of fx. F prime x is the differential of fx. So the differential of fx is minus 2. Minus 2 I bring down, times 25 is minus 50. Then e to the power of fx status quo. That's the formula for differentiation of exponential function. Any question?
No.
No. Actually, exponential function is the easiest function to differentiate, by the way, compared to trigonometry and logarithm. If you notice, because differentiate e power of x is still e power of x. Oh, you like this formula?
Yeah.
No? Because the gradient is also the curve. Okay, this question okay?
Yes.
I move on to the next question. Okay, the next question is your trigo function. Question 5. You ask for part 3, but I need to do part 1 and part 2 also, so you understand part 3.
Okay.
I have to do part 1, part 2 also, although you ask for part 3. Maybe part 1 and part 2, I'll just quickly go through.
Okay.
So your part 1, it says that your fx is this fellow here, right? Okay, has an amplitude of 4, maximum value of fx is 6. That means my a is equal to 4, and my b is equal to 2. Because 4 plus 2 is 6. So you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, then we settle that part now. Then therefore your fx is apparently is your 4 cosine 3x plus 2. Oh, that's the magic formula. Okay, the golden formula. You need this to do the rest of the question. Then they ask you to sketch the graph of fx, right? So basically sketch this graph. So to sketch this graph is very easy. Okay, because plus 2, right? So my invincible axis is here. Invincible x-axis is here. Then cosine graph, right? Cosine graph start from 1, right? But in this case, start from 4. Can start from 6, I mean. This is one wavelength, but they want up to pi, right? Up to pi, you have to draw one more. Maybe I'll explain later, because when you draw waveform, right, it's draw like that first. Then after that, you see you need to increase or not. So in this case, right, you have to draw until it is pi, because one period right now is 2 pi over 3. How do I know one period is 2 pi over 3? Because of this 3. Because of this 3, you know that one period is 2 pi divided by the coefficient of x. Oh, you understand this part?
Yeah.
So 2 pi over 3. Then this one is pi over 3. So the last part is you have to draw up to here. So here is my pi. Oops. So here would be my 6. Here is 2. Here is minus 2. This is fx. And this is x. Oh, you draw like that, you get a marks already. Then the question is asking for draw a suitable straight line on this same diagram, state the number of real roots of the equation, blah, 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 blah. So a pi cosine 3x, so part 3, your a pi cosine 3x plus your b pi is equal to 3x plus pi. Then they said that I draw a straight line for this graph. I can solve this equation. Correct? Because it's for this equation. So how am I going to solve this equation? You see, the fx is a cosine 3 pi plus b. A cosine 3x plus b. Okay, so a cosine 3x plus b. Can you see? If I divide my pi, I'll have my a cosine 3x plus b. Divide by pi. Every term divide by pi, I'll get this. This is called algebra manipulation. You have to algebra manipulate this equation to get this guy here. Then this fellow here, right, is your fx. Oh, you know, this is your fx. In other words, I just draw this graph, y equal to 3 over pi x plus 1. I'll get my plus 1, right? Y equal mx plus c. So this is my c. Okay, my m gradient is 3 over pi. Then my x, when x is pi, right? The pi and pi cancel. 3 plus 1 is 4. So when it is pi, it is at 4. 4 is here. So I just need to draw this straight line. Can you see my straight line? Oh, I draw a straight line. So it cuts at 3 points. Cut at 3 points means number of real roots is 3. Number of solution. Number of solution is the number of real roots. Oh, understand?
Yeah.
The main thing is the algebra manipulation here. You need to manipulate this whole equation until you see this guy appear. Once this guy appear, you let y be this guy. Because in this graph, right, your y or your fx is this fellow here. So I let fx be this guy. In this case, let's change this to fx. So your fx is this, mx plus c. So your gradient is 3 over pi, and your y-intercept is 1, right? 1. Then x is pi, right? So still x is pi, right? You get 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 is between 6 and 2. Midpoint here. Then you just draw a straight line. Then you count number of intersection point is 3. So number of solutions is 3. So understand? Question 5.
Yes.
With question 5, okay, we move on to question 6. Okay, question 6. The whole question you couldn't do.
Actually, only for B part 2.
B part 2.
Yeah.
Is it linked? 86A okay lah.
Sorry, yeah.
Because you wrote question 6, I assume it's the whole question.
Oh, no. Question 6 I can do.
The full question you can do.
Yeah.
Even part 2 also can do.
Yeah, part 2 can.
Part B part 1 and 2 also can.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That means you did quite well for this paper. At least you a good pass lah. Okay, question 7. Okay, question 7, they say that y equal to this value here. Find dy dx. So you're supposed to differentiate this expression here. So your y is equal to x minus 3 multiplied by square root 2x minus 1. So your y is equal to x minus 3, 2x minus 1 to the power of half. dy dx, you have to apply your, what rule do you have to apply?
Product rule.
Product rule, very good. My product rule will tell me to keep this fellow and differentiate this guy, right? Okay, differentiate this guy, you get this. Okay, plus keep this fellow. Differentiate the other guy is 1. Oh, you got this expression. Next, you have to simplify until you get in this form, right? So to simplify, right? Okay, the 2 can cancel off, right? Okay, the trick is to take out this guy. Take out the negative power. Okay, you factorize out your negative power. I have x minus 3 inside, right? Then after that, because I take out negative power, right? I end up with power 1. So this concept, you understand? Because I factorize out 2x minus 1 to a power negative half. So I factorize out this guy, I left with this fellow here, right? Then I factorize out negative power half, I'll end up with no power. Because negative power half, right? Sorry, power of negative half, right? Multiplied by power 1, you have negative half plus 1 equal to half. Yeah, I get back this guy. You understand the concept of this?
Yeah.
Because this is a very good way of doing this kind of question. Factorize out the negative power all the times. The reason you do that is because, right, after that you notice all the substance, all the elements inside here, right, have no more indices to worry about. And it's just like your normal equation. You notice? Then you just need to tidy up here will do. You notice that?
Yeah.
You get a nice expression inside the big bracket. So this part you just copy and paste. Then your big bracket is x minus 3 plus 2x minus 1. So x plus 2x is 3x. Minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4. So you have 3x minus 4 over square root of 2x minus 1. Because negative half power, I become denominator, right? It become positive half power. So I end out with this. So isn't this in this form? Isn't this in the form of ax minus b?
Yeah.
Oh, you got that, right? Yeah. Then part 2, they ask you to integrate, right? I know integration you haven't learned, but this part here, right? The integration, you see, my dy dx is actually 3x minus 4. Then they ask me to integrate 3x minus 5. The denominator is the same. Do you want me to go through part 2 with you so that you learn something from it?
Yeah, can.
Can, I go through part 2 with you, although you haven't learned. But I just write the dy dx here first, because then I'll clean up this place. Okay, they ask you to use your answer in part 1 to evaluate this guy here. So to evaluate this guy, integrate 6, 4. That means integrate 3x minus 4. Minus 4 minus 1. Oh, understand? Minus 4 minus 1 more is become minus 5. I break it into 2 parts. Then I integrate this guy here, right? Misintegrate this guy, right? I'll get back this. Because I differentiate this fellow, I get this. So I integrate this fellow, I'll get back this, right? Okay. Then this one be 2x minus 1 to the power of minus half. Okay. So integration, I substitute 6 inside here. I substitute 6 inside here, right? 6 minus 3 is 3. Substitute 6 inside here, right? 2 times 6 is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11. Then I substitute 4 inside here. 4 minus 3 is 1. Then 4 here, right? 8 minus 1 is 7. That's how I get this. Then minus this guy here, right? I integrate 2x minus 1 to the power of half over half times 2. Then 6, 4. This part you understand, the integration. Because I integrate instead of bringing down the power, right? Instead of minus 1, right? I plus 1. The opposite of differentiation, I plus 1. Then divide, instead of multiplying by the power, right? I divide by the final power, then multiply by differential of this guy. That's integration of this. So you end up with 3 square root 11 minus square root 7 minus square root 11 plus square root 7. You substitute 6 inside here, right? This one cancel, right? So substitute 6 inside here. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11. Oh, square root of 11 plus 7. So I substitute 4 here. 8 minus 1 is 7. 7 power half is square root 7. So you end up with 2 square root 11. 2 square root 11 is the answer for part 2. Can I understand part 2, integration?
Yeah.
I understand you haven't learned integration, but it's a bit abstract for you.
I'll try to understand.
Because you haven't learned integration, your school teach under where? The syllabus?
I think tomorrow my child will start teaching integration. She'll
Tomorrow.
upload her, she'll upload her video.
Because most school already finish integration, is it?
Yeah, because my class is a bit slow.
I understand. Because even for my AMAX class, we are doing plain geometry already. No, kinematics, last part of kinematics.
That's fast.
Yeah. Then, yeah, we are actually doing kinematics already. Then left plane geometry. So this question okay, 7.
Yeah.
You go, okay, let's move on. Question 8. Question 8, you ask for part 2, but I need to do part 1. Let me see. Do I need to do part 1? Anyway, I just do part 1 first. Show that the coefficient, given that the coefficient of x in the binomial expression 2x minus k over x squared power 7 is 168. Show that k is half. So the coefficient of x in the binomial expression. So let's get the general formula of the above expression first. GF stands for general formula. You understand how I get this? The general formula? Yeah.
Yes.
This is what you understand, no? Do you know the general formula, right, can be found in your formula sheet?
Yeah.
You're aware, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they list out the whole expansion, binomial expansion, right? Then one of them is actually your general formula. The one with the NR one, the NR one is the general formula. Then I tidy up this expression, right? Oh, you have this. Okay. So you have this. The reason for this is to find out the indices for X. That's why you need this. Then they say in this expression, right? So 7 minus 3R equal to 1. R is equal to 2. So coefficient of X is 168. So you have 7 to the power of 5, k to the power of 2, k square, minus k square is still k square. Then to the power of 5. Then x to the power of the coefficient of x anyway is 168. So there's no need to have x because the coefficient of x is 168. Then you solve this equation, right? Xk is equal to half or minus half. No? This part you could do, I won't dwell on it already. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
This part you could do, I won't dwell on it already. So I just straight away write k is half. You prove that k is half already. Then use the value of k in part 1, right? Okay, the value of k in part 1 is half. Show that there's no term in x power negative 2 in this expression here. Okay, let me quickly erase. Okay, using the value of k found in part 1, show that there's no term in x power negative 2 in the expression of this guy. So 1 plus 4 x cubed 2x minus k over x squared power 7. So I have a general form. And just now R is 2. Okay, this question, right? If you're to expand this guy here, right? Okay. If you are to expand this guy, you have 7, 0, 2x power 7, and minus 1 over 2x squared, because k is half, power 0, then plus your 7, 1, 2x power 6, then plus 7, 2, 2x power 5, minus 1 over 2x squared. Okay. Then plus 7, 3, 2x power 4, three. If you know what you're doing, you just write dot, dot, dot. Oh, you understand? No? Plus dot, dot, dot. Then you close the bracket. Oh, you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Then this one you continue, right? You will end up with 128 x to the power 7 minus 224 x to the power of 4 plus 168 x minus 70 x power negative 2 plus 17.5 x to the power of negative 5 x power negative 5, then minus 21 over 8 x power negative 8 plus dot, dot, dot. You can write out like that. You understand how I get this?
Yeah.
Yes, all. Then after that, you have 128. Okay, you have 128 x power 7 minus 224 x power 4 plus 168 x minus 70 x power negative 2. Okay, then plus dot, 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 and inside there is a plus 70 x to the power of negative 2. So this one eliminated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The minus 70 x power negative 2 has been eliminated. So coefficient of x power negative 2, right? There's no term for x power negative 2. That's how it shows. Then right here, therefore, there is no term in x power negative 2. But you need to know how I get 70. Okay.
Okay.
Another way is to use this formula here. If you want to save yourself the hassle of writing out all this. Another way is to use the formula here. That means I replace this part with this, the general form. Oh, you understand how to replace all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but for the first part, I use expansion instead of the general form.
General form would be faster.
Okay.
You use general form will be faster. Likewise, for second question, you use the general form will be faster also. Okay, any questions with regards to these questions?
No.
No, With no questions, let me erase everything. Then we move on from here. Okay, next question is 9. Question 9, it says that the equation of the curve is 5 cosine x divided by 3 plus sine x. The tangent and normal to the curve at a point P where x equal to 2 pi cuts the x-axis at A and B respectively. Find the equations of the tangent and normal to the curve at P, the area of PAB. You only have questions for part 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me quickly write out the answer here. So y equal to 5 cosine x over 3 plus sine x. So I differentiate this guy, my dy dx. I just write the answer straight away. Dy dx will be minus 15 sine x minus 5. After differentiating, you'll get this 3 plus sine x squared. You got this? Dy dx.
Yeah.
Then you substitute x is 2 pi. Your dy dx is minus 5 over 9. And your y is equal to 5 over 3. So point P would be 2 pi and 5 over 3. That's your point P. Then equations of the tangent to the curve at point P. Then you simplify. You have y is equal to minus 5 over 9 x plus 5 over 3 plus 10 pi over 9. Okay, you got this all? Equations of the tangent. Then the gradient of the normal will be 9 over 5. Gradient of normal is 9 over 5. So equation of normal. Okay, equation of tangent, let me write here. And equation of normal would be, I just write out the answer here. Y equal to 9x over 5 plus 5 over 3 minus 18 pi over 5. You got these two answers, right?
Yeah. But sure, in the 9 over 5 is a positive. It's a positive
now,
9 over 5, right?
Yeah, positive 9 over 5.
Oh, okay. Because the answer C got negative.
Answer P got negative. Wait. Equation of normal, sorry. Continue, wait. Equation of normal. Why I write negative 9 over 5? Because I never do this question. I did this question many years ago. Now you ask me out of the blue, I also need to do trace the answer. I need to trace the answer. Okay, the equation of the curve is this. The tangent and normal to the curve at P. Find the equations of the tangent. Equation of tangent is minus 5 over 9. Okay, gradient of normal will be 9 over 5. So equation of normal is 9 over 5 x plus 5 over 3. Answer behind give you negative. Let me see. Okay. Now you have this equation of the normal to the curve.
Yeah.
Then after that, the area of PAB. So 2 pi minus 3 is here. This is 2 pi. Here is 2 pi plus 25 over 7. Then your P is 2 pi 5 over 3, right? This point P. Okay, it looks like this. Oh, okay.
Yes.
You substitute y is 0, you get this 2. Because you have normal and the tangent. So normal cuts at here, cuts at B. So if this normal, right? So when this 0, x will be equal to this. So area of PAB will be half 2 pi 4/3, then 2 pi minus 3, 0, 2 pi plus 25/7, 25/27, 0, and 2 pi, and 5/3. Oh, you know this formula, right?
Yeah.
To find area. Then you simplify, you will get 3 and 22/81 units square. You don't need me to show you how to expand all this, right? Or
Yeah,
need?
don't need.
No need, no?
Yeah.
You get this. Any questions?
I know.
No, no question. I move on already. Okay, part B, 10 part B. No, this is 11 part B. It's a standalone question, so you can leave A alone. So just focus on B. Find the value of each of the constants A and B for which sine 2x, open bracket, phi tangent x plus 2 cotangent x is equal to A plus B cos square x. So basically, they ask you to solve this equation in a way. So your sine 2x okay. So your sine 2x is 2 sine x cos x. So we have this. Let's work on the left-hand side. So I multiply in, I have 10 sine square x plus 4 cos square x. Oh, you understand how I get this?
Yeah.
Then after that, your sine square x is 1 minus cos square x. The reason you do this is because, right, what is supposed to prove here has no sine square. So I change my sine square to 1 minus cos square. That's the reason why I use this formula. That's the reason why I change the sine square instead of cos square. Then after that is 10 minus 10 cos square plus 4 cos square x. You go to 10 minus 6 cos square x. A plus B cos square x. So your A is 10, B is -6. Oh, you understand? So find the value of each of the constant, right? Your A is 10, your B is -6. B part 1, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, part 2, right? Because I'm able to find the value of this, right? Hence solve this equation. This is my sine. Okay, I write out in yellow. Sine 4 theta is sine 2 theta. Phi tangent 2 theta plus 2 cotangent 2 theta. Imagine your 2 theta is your x. No? Your 2 theta is your x. So isn't this sine 2x phi tangent x plus 2 cotangent x?
Yes.
So you can simplify it as 10 minus 6 cos square 2 theta. Go to 7. Oh, understand? Hence, hence solve. No, you understand, no?
Yeah.
So like in this form, you know how to do already, right?
Yeah.
So no need to continue, right? You already know how to do, right? You know how to do already from here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you still need me to continue to do the rest of solution?
No. I'll
No
try.
need, no. The main thing you need to know is 2 theta apparently is your x. That's why I must write out in this form now. Then you can see sine 2x, phi tangent x plus 2 cotangent x. Your 2 theta is your x. Then you can use this formula straight away, plug it in, just change your x to 2 theta. You want me to finish explaining question 12C first? Or you want to do first for question 11?
Can I do question 11 first?
Okay, you do question 11 first. You finish first, C can get the same answer, as my
Okay.
solution.
Sure. I get the answer.
You got the answer, huh?
Yeah.
What do you get for Peter?
Times what? Pi over 8.
Mm-hmm.
Pi over 8. 7 pi over 8. 3 pi over 8 and 5 pi over 8.
Correct. Huh? Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on already. Okay, the last question. This is the last question, right? Yeah. Prop C. They ask you to solve the equation for your x. E to the power of x plus e to the power of x over 2 minus 3 equal to 0. Okay? So to simplify this problem, right, you're going to let your e power x over 2 be your y. Oh. So this guy will be y squared plus y over 2 minus 3 equal to 0. Then you have your 2y squared plus y minus 6 equal to 0. So y is equal to 3 over 2 or y equal to minus 2. So y is e power x over 2. Okay, this one non-negative, you have no solution, undefined. Okay, yours non-negative is undefined. So it's not applicable, in other words. Any question?
No.
This one you just need to know how to do your substitution. The cross is in the substitution. Oh, okay, this question. You got no more question to ask, right?
Don't have.
Don't have,